In 2014, Disney wiped decades of Star Wars stories from existence and called it Legends. But what if the stories they deleted were actually better than what replaced them? On the 25th of April 2014, Lucasfilm made an announcement that split the Star Wars fandom in half. Everything, every novel, every comic, every game, every story that had been told outside the movies and the Clone Wars series was rebranded as Legends. It was no longer canon. It no longer happened in the official Star Wars timeline. Now, in their face, Lucasfilm would publish new books, new comics, and new shows that would all be part of one connected official canon. Everything would matter. Everything would be consistent. And look, I think that idea sounds brilliant on paper. One unified timeline, no contradictions, everything fits together. But in practice, what happened was that they threw out some of the most beloved Star Wars stories ever told and replaced them with stories that, in a lot of cases, just haven't been as good. So today, I want to compare canon and legends across 4 major areas where they diverge. 4 characters, 4 stories, where the old version and the new version tell fundamentally different stories. And by the end, you'll see why so many fans still argue that Legends got it right. But before we get into the first one, I should warn you. What Legends did with Darth Maul is absolutely wild. And it only gets crazier from there. Let's start with the obvious one. Darth Maul. In canon, Maul survives being cut in half, which, of course, is already a stretch, and shows up in the Clone Wars with a set of mechanical spider legs. He gathers an army, he fights Obi-Wan again, and eventually, in Star Wars Rebels, he tracks Obi-Wan to Tatooine and they have one final duel. Obi-Wan kills him. It's a good death. It's actually one of my favourite moments in all of Star Wars. But in Legends, the story goes differently. Maul survives, same robot legs idea, but his arc is darker. He tracks down Obi-Wan not out of revenge for himself, but because he's trying to rebuild the Sith legacy. He builds a criminal empire. He's more calculating, more patient, more dangerous. And when he finally confronts Obi-Wan, it's on Tatooine, same location. But the context is completely different. Obi-Wan isn't just defending himself, he's defending Luke. The duel is shorter, but it means more, because Maul isn't just a broken Sith apprentice anymore. He's a genuine threat to the future of the Jedi. Now, I believe the canon version of Maul's survival is actually really well executed in the Clone Wars. Dave Filoni did a brilliant job with that character. But I think Legends gave Maul a more complete arc. In canon, he ends up a broken old man ranting in the desert. In Legends, he dies as someone who almost succeeded. And to me, that's a better ending for a villain. And speaking of villains who got very different treatment, what happened to Thrawn in Legends versus canon is where this debate gets really interesting. Grand Admiral Thrawn is one of the most interesting cases in all of Star Wars, because he started in Legends. Timothy Zahn created him in 1991 in Heir to the Empire, and he was instantly iconic. A blue-skinned chess strategist who could analyse a culture's art and predict their military tactics. He was calm, he was brilliant, he was the one Imperial officer who never lost his temper, and that made him terrifying. In Legends, Thrawn nearly brings the New Republic to its knees. He campaigns across the galaxy, wins battle after battle, and is only defeated because of betrayal from within his own ranks. His death in The Last Command is one of the best moments in the entire expanded universe. He's standing on the bridge of his ship, and a bodyguard, a Nogri named Rook, stabs him. And Thrawn's last words are, "But it was so artistically done." That is an incredible death. That line tells you everything about who Thrawn is. Even in his final moment, he's appreciating the artistry of the act. In canon, Thrawn is brought into the new timeline through the Zorn novels and the shows, Rebels and Ahsoka. And look, I genuinely think that the Canon Thrawn novels are fantastic. Zorn's writing is as sharp as ever. But the problem is what the shows do to him. In Rebels, he's great. In Ahsoka, he's kind of just standing around. He's been exiled to another galaxy. He's trying to get home. And he doesn't really get to be the strategic genius that made him legendary in the first place. I'm not entirely sure the canon version has given us a Thrawn moment as iconic as his Legends death. That, "but it was so artistically done" line, that's one of the best final lines in all of Star Wars. And canon hasn't matched it yet. Now, if you think Thrawn got shortchanged, wait until you see what Legends did with Boba Fett. Boba Fett is where the canon versus legend debate gets really heated. In canon, Boba Fett falls into the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi, and he escapes. We see this in the Book of Boba Fett. He wanders the desert, he gets captured by Jawas, he gets his armor stolen, and eventually he takes over Jabba's criminal empire. It's fine. I think fine is the word. The show had some good moments. But Boba Fett as a crime lord sitting on a throne never quite felt like the character we fell in love with. In Legend, Boba Fett escapes the Sarlacc too, but what happens after is completely different. He becomes the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy, full stop. No sitting on thrones, no being a crime lord. He's in the field. He takes jobs. He tracks targets across the galaxy. And crucially, he has a rivalry with Han Solo that spans decades. They keep running into each other. It's personal. And then, in the Legacy of the Force series, Boba Fett plays a pivotal role in the galactic conflict. He's older, he's weathered, but he's still the most dangerous non-Force user in the galaxy. He leads the Mandalorians. He trains Jaina Solo to fight her brother, who had turned to the dark side. That's right, Boba Fett helps train a Jedi to defeat a Sith Lord. I believe Legends Boba Fett is just a better use of the character. He stays a bounty hunter, he stays dangerous, he doesn't soften. And I think that's what fans wanted from Boba Fett. Not a crime lord, but the galaxy's greatest hunter. But all of this, Maul, Thrawn, Boba Fett, that's individual characters. The biggest difference between canon and Legends isn't a character at all. It's an entire war that Legends never got to tell. This is the one that fans bring up every single time this debate happens. The Yuuzhan Vong War. In Legends, the New Republic faces an invasion from outside the galaxy. The Yuuzhan Vong are a race of religious zealots who use organic technology, living ships, living weapons, and they despise everything the Star Wars galaxy represents. They don't use the Force. They can't be sensed through the Force. And they tear through the New Republic like nothing the galaxy has ever faced. This war spans 27 novels. 27! It lasts 5 years in universe, and it is devastating. Major characters die, planets fall. Coruscant itself is conquered and terraformed. Anakin Solo, Han and Leia's youngest son, dies in battle. Chewbacca dies. This is a war with real, permanent consequences. Now, I think this is the single biggest thing Canon is missing. There's no equivalent. The sequel trilogy gives us the First Order, and they're fine as a threat, but they're basically just the Empire again. The Yuuzhan Vong was something genuinely new, an enemy that couldn't be fought the same way, that required the entire galaxy to unite, and cost the heroes everything. And I think that's what makes Legends special. It wasn't afraid to break things. It wasn't afraid to kill characters. It wasn't afraid to change the Star Wars galaxy in ways that couldn't be undone. Canon, so far, has played it safer. And I think the stories have been smaller because of it. So, is Star Wars Legends better than Canon? I think the honest answer is, in some ways, yes. Maul's arc is more complete. Thrawn's story has a better ending. Boba Fett stays true to who he should be. And the Yuuzhan Vong War is a level of storytelling that Canon hasn't attempted yet. But I also think Canon has done some brilliant things. The Clone Wars series is some of the best Star Wars ever made. The Thrawn novels are excellent. Andor is a masterpiece. And the idea of a unified, consistent canon is a good one. It just needs better executions in the areas where Legends clearly still wins. So, no, I don't think Legends is universally better, but I do think Lucasfilm threw out some stories that deserved to be kept. And they haven't replaced all of them with something as good yet. If you enjoyed this video, I'd also highly recommend my breakdown of Anakin Skywalker's complete journey from the Chosen One to Darth Vader. It's another story where Canon and Legends tell very different versions, and I'll link it on the end screen, so make sure you check that out next. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my review of the next big Star Wars release. Drop a comment below and let me know. Do you think Legends or Canon is better? I genuinely want to hear what you guys think on this one. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now!